Welcome everybody to today's Lake Norman Chamber of Commerce and Lake Norman Region Nonprofit Roundtable. This is the first that we've done in a few months. The purpose of the roundtable meeting is to talk about what our organizations are doing here at the lake and sharing that with the public. What I'm going to do is I'm going to ask Steve Melton. Steve, can you share a little bit about what our Rotary Club is doing and what else you might be doing in terms of helping nonprofits? Steve? No, this is the camera face.
Oh, hey, good morning, everybody. I'm Steve Melton. I'm in the North Mech Rotary. I'm not here to talk about every Rotary Club in the area, but there are about 6 around the lake, and they're all fine organizations that I'm sure many of you have affiliations with. I talked to the president this morning, and forgive me, I'm going to put my glasses on to read this, but we are going to be raising funds for the Titanium Sound Band at Hopewell High. We are going to get a $5,000 matching grant from Rotary International, and we're looking for money for uniforms and instruments. We just completed a school supply drive with Jenkins Center in the neighborhood center, and I believe that's been completed. And on October 3rd, there is, and I wrote it down in my handwriting's like a doctor, so I can't read it, so forgive me, but Ramsey Creek Parks, a river thing that we're going to be participating with a lot of other folks. And that's pretty much what's going on with Rotary. And you see me before. I'm involved working with nonprofits. I do the directors and officers insurance and that kind of thing, so please keep me in mind. Okay. Thank you, Bill.
And now I may want to scoot back just a little bit from Bruce.
Well, Bruce is better without.
And we do have our face mask here. We're trying to maintain our social distancing, and Bruce is being the best one here. Bruce is with Beds with Kids. Bruce, tell us a little bit about what Beds with Kids does and what you guys are involved with right now.
So we provide beds and essential furniture to families in need. We partner with 29 different referring agencies across the Charlotte and into Southern Iredell and Cabarrus County. So up here, it would be Jenkins, Caterpillar Ministries, Hope House, Habitat for Humanity, Mooresville School System, Annapolis School System. So a lot of the school systems, they provide us clients, families that are in need. We get on the phone with those clients, make sure that the referral itemizes everything that they need, and then go and deliver them the beds and the furniture. So since COVID, we've actually been extremely busy because the need does not change. I was telling Steve, one of the big differences is the percent of our families that are employed, because of a lot of our families have been negatively impacted by COVID. They had jobs before, but now they don't. So the need is even greater. And I was telling Steve, we normally charge because we don't believe that a family is going to move forward through handouts alone. So we normally charge if we're bringing a household of furniture $100, and if we're bringing them just beds only $60, but we're not charging since the beginning of COVID. We still need furniture and beds to deliver. So we are also out in the community every day picking up gently used furniture, beds that are less than 8 years old and in good condition. So please let us know. We're up in the Lake Norman area 4 or 5 times a week. Okay. I was telling Steve, we just did, a delivery Thursday, Friday, and yesterday in Huntersville, Cornelius, and Davidson.
Okay, thank you, Bruce. We've also had Tonya, Rivens, and Harold Rice join us, and we'll get to them in just a second. But let's go ahead, and Robin Bird's on the line. Robin, you want to share a little bit about what your organization does?
I do, thank you. Good morning, everyone. I serve as Executive Director of the Lake Norman Lucky Cat Program. We humanely manage the community cat population through a method known as trap, neuter, return. Community cats are sometimes hiding in plain sight. Sometimes you notice them at local restaurant dumpsters. They're really everywhere, parks. So for animal control to trap and euthanize these cats is a cost to us as taxpayers, and our program provides the TNR services at no cost to the taxpayers. We are volunteer based donations or how we operate. We do apply for grants. COVID-19 set us way back in that trap, neuter, return, spay, neuter surgeries were suspended for several months during COVID-19 due to the supplies being diverted to the human population. Of course, COVID-19 also hit during kitten season. So we are drowning in kittens that we have no place to place them because the rescues are full. So at this point, we are partnering with some local rescues, Lake Norman Humane, Piedmont Animal Rescue, but they can't take them all. Our biggest need right now is for volunteers to help us trap these cats for continued TNR and food donations for the colony caretakers who feed these cats but are out of work due to COVID-19.
Fantastic. We're going to go next to Brooke. I see we have you on the line. If we go to Brooke.
Sorry about that. Good morning. My name is Brooke Moose, and I am with Habitat for Humanity of the Charlotte region. Just joining in, so I think maybe what you're doing is just kind of sharing a roundtable of kind of what we've got going on. Is that correct, Bill?
That's correct.
Perfect. So as you all know, Habitat for Humanity, formerly Our Town's Habitat, has recently merged with Charlotte Habitat, becoming, sorry about that, becoming one of the largest 10 affiliates in the nation. And we are now Habitat for Humanity of the Charlotte region. During this time, we have certainly been challenged through our transition with the merger, but we've also been challenged with the issues as everyone else has with COVID. But fortunately, we have been able to complete 14 new homes during this time. So from March until July 1st, we completed 14 homes, and you know that is across our entire service area, which now covers Pineville through Statesville. 2 of those homes were in the legacy Our Town service area, so we're very excited to be able to continue the work in the northern part of our service region. We are currently still building. You know, we have had to make some changes, as many other nonprofits have had to do. We have not been able to bring volunteer groups back out on site, and so that is certainly causing us some difficulties and costing us a little more money to be able to do the work that we're doing. But we do still have about 37 homes on our docket to be built this next fiscal year. And of those, 9 of those will be in the northern part of our service area. So we still have a very strong commitment to Lake Norman and north into Statesville. So the 6 of our 7 restores have also reopened. We did have to close those down due to some of the restrictions with the stay-at-home order, but we have been able to successfully open 6 of the 7, with the 7th store in Statesville looking to open on the 24th of this month. So, so we're back to business as normal as that can be for the moment. But just very excited that we're still able to serve families during this time, thanks to some gracious donors that have helped us with releasing some restrictions from some funding to help us with some of our operational expenses and to be able to, keep doing the great work in the communities that we're serving. I think right now what we need the most is patience and prayer, just like everyone else, trying to get through this time. We are continuing to build. It's costing us about $20,000 more per house to build without volunteer labor. So that is certainly something that is challenging for us, but it's hard for us to have a stay-at-home order and not have a home to stay in. So we continue our commitment to these families that are waiting patiently on the homes in our community. So that's about what we have going on here at Habitat of the Charlotte region. Thank you, Bill.
Brooke, I spent 6 years serving on the board of directors of Our Towns, which is recently merged with the Charlotte Regional Habitat, and then served 1 year as ex officio. And now they brought me back on board on the governance committee. So I'm I'm going to be working with you guys.
Just can't get away.
Yeah, it's continuing to work with Habitat. We've had Tonya and Harold join us. And so what I'm going to do is we're going to go back to here. And again, we're having a hybrid virtual and in present. So Tonya, share a little bit about who you are and what organization you represent and what you guys do.
Okay, so I'm Tonya at Rivens, the Eyes Long Rye Bread, and I'm a native of Cornelius Lake Norman, and this is the way college came back. I've been in media all my life, but I have this passion for serving the community, and I established the Ausie Rivens Scholarship Foundation, which is in honor of my grandfather, who was the first one here in Cornelius who fought to integrate the barbershop. So he's also well known. He worked janitor at the elementary school, and my grandmother, grandfather, they had a diner and a barbershop. And once my grandfather passed, a whole generation kind of just let the whole entrepreneurship challenge go, and the business is right across from Smithville Park. So I kind of stepped in and was able to try really hard to keep the business going, which recreate the whole business model. And I wanted to do a scholarship in his honor, and first and foremost to honor, encourage people entrepreneurship, as well as go into barber and hairstyling. And so we started out duplicating what the model they had, which was a barber shop, and a diner was an ice cream parlor. And over the years, I've evolved. This opened in, or I redid the building and the whole business plan in 2003. The nonprofit was created in 2004, giving scholarships to kids to go to barber school, and it's all on my website. And then giving local scholarships to the community, sponsoring. We had a GED lab, also sponsoring trips for the youth in the community. Mainly Smithville, that didn't have the funds. We have camps during spring break, fall break, because while everyone else in their classes maybe were going on trips, their families didn't have the funds. So we had arts and cultural camp, and entrepreneurs come and speak to them. We've since evolved even more. The property is pretty much now property management. We've got realtors inside, and it's given me time to focus more on the nonprofit. So what we're doing now is still focusing on scholarships, supporting domestic violence awareness, and also providing workshops about life skills and encouraging entrepreneurship. So we recently opened a little food pantry, a little free pantry, that is. I always say food, but it's been going great. I've just been blown away at the support we've been getting from the community. And it's funny, when the city of Charlotte started encouraging people to do it, they were offering some funding. When I asked, they said I couldn't have the funding because I was in the county. And I don't know if others run into that, but I run into that a lot as a nonprofit out in Mecklenburg County. Same thing with the business. The other thing I've embarked on, because I always want to help the underserved, is we just announced a $20,000 donation from UPS, and it's to help our children. The remote learning is really damaging, especially kids in underserved communities. And it's our form of a pandemic pod, working with Macquarie and Stratford Y, and 4 ministries. And the donation we're taking, purchasing Chromebooks, and we're setting up resource centers starting on the west side, and that's intentional. And they're providing the volunteers so that the youth, although CMS is giving them Chromebooks, but if they want to come to a resource center with someone that can help them tutor, then that's available. So that's what's going on with my nonprofit. There's some information about it on my website, TonyaRivens.com/Ausie Rivens, and hopefully that's enough information.
Tonya, thank you very much. We have Harold Rice here, and Harold, I've served on the board of the Ada Jenkins Center from 2003 to 2006 as a full board member. Then I went over to the United Way, but you've kept me on the board as a ex officio member all of this time. And if there was one organization, while all of our Lake Norman nonprofits do an outstanding job, but if there was one organization that touched the most people in the Lake Norman region, it's got to be the Ada Jenkins Center. And before you'd been hired, before you even started, we had you on a program with the Chamber of Commerce talking about diversity and inclusion. And I think you were tapped to do the 3 towns put together a program, and you spoke there too. But share a little bit about what the Ada Jenkins Center does, what's its mission, and what are the needs right now?
Yeah, great. Harold Rice, Rice without the Roni is still a meal, I like to say. Our mission is that we exist to create long-lasting economic stability. And I'm so proud of this organization because during the COVID period, even before I came on board, they saw the need to pivot You know, a lot of our customers were the first online to be let go of their jobs. And so, you know, we've received significant funding from United Way, significant funding from the CARES Act of Mecklenburg County to be able to support these families who are in critical need, back rent, utilities, mortgage assistance, you name it. And so we have pivoted a bit to really focus on helping these families sustain their housing and their lifestyle. So hopefully at some point, you know, we can get back to whatever this new normal will be. They won't need us as much. And so shout out to our social workers who are on the front lines working with these families in the 3 towns. We've also pivoted to telehealth as well. And to be honest, we've seen a lot more success that way. From what we understand, a lot of people are showing up for their appointments and meeting with their doctors online. Our dental program is on pause at the point because that's a mobile bus. Right. And so we're still looking at ways to re-engage the dental program. Our day program that we instituted as a result, just kind of like what Ms. Rivens was talking about, a lot of our families, we don't want them to have to choose between working or staying at home with their child during this time. And so we opened up our LearnWorks facility during the day, which is CMS approved, for some day resource program for these students. We have, I believe last count, we have 20 students and we have another 20 slots available. So, you know, go to the website and sign up. You have to definitely be living within the 3 towns and a student of CMS. And, you know, our biggest need is continuing to support the organization throughout the crisis. Unfortunately, we were not able to have our signature event, but fortunately for everyone, we're having our event online. We've kind of pivoted to that. It will be October the 17th, I'm sorry. And it's called the Show of Strength. And it'll be a silent auction. And there will be more information to come on that. But that's how the community can really support the work that we're doing, is to come in and buy something.
Well, thank you very much, Harold. And we're going to pivot. We're going to go over to Cindy with Angels and Sparrows, and you guys do a tremendous job serving our community, particularly those who need a meal. Cindy, you want to share a little bit about what Angels and Sparrows is doing?
Sure. Thanks, Bill. So we are feeding hungry people in our community. We're feeding a lot more hungry people than we used to. When we look at, you know, through the end of August compared to last year, we're seeing 131% increase in the number of meals being provided through our kitchen and emergency food pantry. We pivoted back in March when, you know, things shut down. We had to close our dining room, and we are now serving via a drive-through format. And so we're packaging up the meals and distributing meals and groceries through the drive-through each weekday. You know, we're currently evaluating what reopening the dining room looks like and if we'll be able to do that. We did lose a lot of our volunteers. You know, most of them were retirees. And so with health risks and stuff like that, they're not, you know, coming back as quickly. And so we're kind of looking at how we staff the dining room and how we create an outdoor area for people to eat. Right now we are still we're planning as if we are holding our Thanksgiving 5K and kind of waiting to see what happens with the state of North Carolina and moving into the next phase of the stay-at-home order. The best way you can help us right now is by making a gift. We have no more room to store all the food that we've been getting. We have a couple large food drives going on that have been successful. And so the best way to help Angels and Sparrows right now is by definitely making a gift. And that's what I have today. Thanks, Bill.
Thank you. All right, we'll move over to Robert. Robert, you want to share a little about what your organization does?
Absolutely. Good morning, everyone, and thanks for having me. My name is Robert Koch, and I'm the Director of Development at WFAE, the public radio station for Greater Charlotte. And if you listen to 90.7, you probably do not recognize my voice because my colleague Jeff Bundy is the individual who's in charge of all of our on-air fundraising campaigns, in which we are actually actively in one right now. And so thankfully, back in March, we were able to adjust quickly and have essentially the entirety of our staff work remote while continuing to broadcast the news on our FM signals and get things out on our social media channels, our app, our website, all those sorts of things. And so I'm thankful that we are continuing with our fundraising work and providing a much needed service for the greater Charlotte region. For those of you that are not familiar with WFAE and public radio, we actually cover over 30 counties around the greater Charlotte region. So as much as covered in Charlotte Mecklenburg, we are covering a much larger area in terms of our broadcast signals as well. So I suppose the biggest thing I should share right now is that this weekend we're going to be undergoing a not insignificant change with some of our programming. Two of our programs that people have paid attention to for a while live from here, and then Only a Game, are actually ending their production runs. And so we're incorporating some new programming into our lineup, a lot of neat podcasts actually that I've been listening to that are also available for on air. So if anyone's familiar with It's Been a Minute with Sam Sanders or Hidden Brain, those are two really popular NPR programs. But we're also going to be implementing How I Built This, which is a great entrepreneurial program, and then Planet Money. I'm an economics major from undergraduate, so that's a particular favorite of mine. And then Latino USA is going to be another one of the programs that we're implementing. But like I said, we are actively in our fall fundraising campaign right now. So we are certainly thankful for everyone who listens and supports. And that's the summary of what I've got for today. Thanks so much for having me.
Well, thank you, Robert. We appreciate it. We're going to scoot over to Sabrina Johnson. Sabrina, you want to share a little bit about your organization, what you guys are doing, and what are your needs?
Sure, thank you. I'd love to. So I'm Sabrina Johnson. I'm with justserve.org. We have a national website and app, and it's a searchable base where organizations who sponsor a project or a volunteer opportunity can be listed, and volunteers who wish to serve somewhere in or near their community, they can look to find opportunities. It's to get connected and to promote volunteerism and unity in the community. It's a free gift. There is no charge to list your organization's volunteer opportunities, and there is no charge to be a volunteer and use the service to find a way to serve. And the opportunities that we can list are, they can range from faith organizations, government organizations, nonprofits, and also with other community organizations. So I'm always looking for anyone that I could help get listed if they wish to. And I could give you some examples of some local listings we have on there right now you're familiar with. Feed NC, formerly the Mooresville Soup Kitchen. They have an organization page, and they have 3 attached projects going right now. And another is the Catawba Riverkeeper Foundation. We have an ongoing project on there for right now. And then we also have the upcoming Project Service Day, the event on October 3rd that's throughout the region. So there's any size of nonprofit can be listed, and they have no fee to be listed or to have a dedicated URL on justserve.org. So they can be up and running immediately, and they can also put their project on hold, or they can put an announcement box that while we, to still have some presence, some visibility, even if something's on hold due to COVID or some other transition, they can put announcement on their permanent organization page and let them know, we normally do this, we're going to need you again soon. I think there's a lot of concern for volunteers being unavailable and not coming back to that same opportunity that they used to do. So a way to get the information out. It's a great partnership for social media, and it works. It just works wonderfully well if somebody's looking. They can be searching by their home zip code and then a range of increments that are available from 5 miles from their home zip code to 75 miles from the home zip code. And then they can also put in searchable skills. So if somebody wanted to do construction, they had skills in construction, they could find Habitat. So we are, for the Habitat person on there, we are updating that with Rachel and with Zach Serber with the new merger. We have another Just Serve specialist that's near here working on that. But it's an easy way to reflect immediate information or future things, but it's not for fundraising, it is just for volunteerism. but I'm happy to help. Again, it's Sabrina Johnson at justserve.org.
Thank you, Sabrina. We appreciate that. We're going to slide over to Jason. Jason, you want to share a little bit about your organization?
Absolutely, I'd be happy to. Good morning, everybody. I'm Jason Hayes. I'm the Executive Director of the Animal Welfare Organization here in Mooresville. Historically, we've been more of an adoption-based conventional shelter model, but particularly in recent months, we've really been putting a considerable amount of focus towards expanding our programs and services to sort of increase our impact in the community and really ultimately try to provide support before those four paws end up on our front door, so to speak. So we've been continuing our weekly drive-in food bank program, behavioral support assistance, things like that, things that we can do kind of in the realm of intake mitigation, as well as, collaborating with other welfare organizations in the area just to kind of combine resources and, ultimately increase life-saving. Like everyone, we're kind of doing our best to navigate the challenges with the COVID crisis. We've had to shift to an appointment-based model. Certainly that, along with, the lack of in-person traffic and events and such, and our annual gala certainly created considerable challenges for fundraising. But ultimately the need continues, so our work continues. But really, support like everyone else is needed in the same ways, not only monetarily, but through supplies and things like that that can be found on our website. We are able to have a limited amount of volunteers on the premises within the guidelines of the safety protocols of the executive order. So we are doing our best to sort of get creative and navigate as best we can, but the work certainly continues. Anyone's in the market for a new family member, we certainly have a lot of great animals right now. Adoptions are moving. Again, the appointment model is challenging, but we're hoping to see this through. And we hope to have more footsteps in the building soon, but that's kind of where we are right now.
And Jason, I have one downstairs. He is a rescued Old English sheepdog.
Awesome.
He's waiting for Dad to come back downstairs, and hopefully he's not being a nuisance for Sylvia downstairs. But thank you for what you do. We're going to slide back over to Karen. And Karen, we heard from Harold, but do you have anything that you would like to add about Ada Jenkins Center?
I think Harold explained it all beautifully. I will say thanks to our partners, North Mac Rotary and Beds for Kids, since y'all are there today. We really appreciate all the support in the many ways that you all are helping us. It's been a roller coaster 6 months. We're very grateful for all the community support we have received, but there's no doubt the need is incredible. Much like Cindy was talking about food access, I think we served 1,400 something folks in the food pantry all of last year. So July 1 through June 2020. But just since March through now, we've served 1,500. So we've served more people in the past 6 months this year than we did all of last year. So we know that the demand certainly is there. And I know in our in the financial assistance, which we weren't doing so much of, we were really focusing on programs to help folks gain their own footing and work with them. But due to COVID, and like Harold said, a lot of our folks are frontline workers or, work at restaurants, and they got laid off right away. And so we've had more folks coming to us. We've had to expand the hours of the person who is our intake specialist, because I think between, we had projected that for all of this year, we would serve something like 50 families with financial assistance, but we're getting up to 50 calls a day now. So not all of them are eligible, but it just shows the type of demand that we're seeing.
Thank you, Karen. Steve Melton, who is here and may be fixing to leave, but Steve is a graduate of our Leadership Lake Norman program, and applications are still out there right now. The deadline is this coming Friday, but we have until the 25th really to get them in. Karen, you went through the program this past year. I'm actually wrapping it up tonight, this afternoon. You want to share what was your takeaway from Leadership Lake Norman? What experience did you enjoy the most?
It's been a great experience. You know, sadly, because of COVID, we've had to cut back on our in-person gatherings, but you know, it's been fascinating what we've gone to see, whether it's on the education day or you know, just getting out in the community and seeing things like the big silo on Highway 115, and everybody says, you know, what is that? We got to go inside of it and go up top. That was pretty cool.
Outlier, yeah.
That's right. And but I think the best part of it, honestly, has been the friendships and the connections. I know, for instance, one of our colleagues in this year's cohort is Bobby Williams with the town of Huntersville. Well, he had no trouble picking up the phone and calling me and saying, hey, let's talk about funding, CARES Act funding for the Ada Jenkins Center, and how the North Mecklenburg towns can get together and advocate for that. And so that was really gratifying. I know the folks at Novon and Atrium have reached out also for mass distributions, for instance. And so just the connections that we've made, I think, has been really heartwarming and powerful.
Well, thank you, Karen. And anybody wants information about the Leadership Lake Norman program, it's on our website at lakenormanchamber.org, or you can call the Chamber of Commerce. We're going to switch to Margie Kyle with Little Smiles. Margie, tell us a little bit about what Little Smiles is up to.
Well, I'm just reading. Okay. We are still working through the nurses, and anything the nurses feel those kids need to put a smile on their face is what we do best. We have done in the past tons of birthday parties, character visits, that type of thing, but obviously we cannot do that at this point. Laptops are flying out the door to keep kids connected in a huge way. We can't have our golf tournament like everybody else, and that's one of our biggest fundraisers and source of income. So we're hurting just like everybody else, but I want to open our doors. We have a huge storage unit, and I know that Cool Kids has been there, Make an Impact has been there, Ada Jenkins has been there, Hope House has been there. We have thousands of toys that I call it selective shoplifting. If you have children in need and you need to put a smile on their face, you need to get a hold of me and meet me at the storage unit and take a huge bag or two of toys to the kids that need it the most. I cannot believe how many people are hurting in our immediate area. And we're working with Make an Impact all the time, the kids that they have in their camp, to help them with just gratification of trying to stay in school, trying to learn, by letting them come to the storage unit and take some toys as appreciation for what they're going through. So we're looking for more board members. We've had a turnover there. Always looking for volunteers, but right now the volunteers can't go into the hospital. So that's, unless somebody wants to go shopping. That's basically what we're looking for at this time. Very proud of our nurses who have continued to keep in touch with us and to try to keep those kids happy. It must be terrifying as a child to be in the hospital and their parents can't even come and see them. So that's what we're basically all about.
Thank you, Margie. Switching gears over to Stephanie. Stephanie, you want to share a little bit about your organization?
Sure. So good morning, everyone. My name is Stephanie Farrell, and I work in the member engagement department with Cardinal Innovations. So not necessarily a nonprofit member, but we refer a lot of our members to the nonprofits and committees that have been speaking this morning. So we've done a lot of work with Beds for Kids, Habitat, Ada Jenkins. For those of you who are not familiar with us, we're the local managed care organization, and we provide services to people with intellectual developmental disabilities, mental health challenges, and substance use disorders. So just wanted to show up here today to hopefully make some new connections and strengthen some relationships. My partner, Amy Rudisill, is actually on the call as well. And so we are both in districts 1 and 3 of Mecklenburg and are hoping to have a great presence and connection with each of you.
Okay. And Amy, did you want to add anything?
Good morning. Just to say good morning, and Stephanie really covered well, and just thanks for allowing us to sit on. I actually work in community engagement, which is a little bit different, but Stephanie and I work in tandem because I work more with some of these nonprofit organizations. I've worked alongside Davison Lifeline for several years now in doing some work there, but for the most part, just looking to expand our connections in your districts.
Okay, great. Good to have you, Amy. We have Bobby on the line. I don't know which organization Bobby's with, but Bobby, you want to share a little bit about your organization? Bobby?
Hey, Bill, I don't know if you can hear me or not.
Yeah, we hear you.
All right, I'm just here listening, seeing what's going on with the community.
Okay, and this is Bobby who?
It's Bobby Williams with the town of Huntersville.
Oh, Bobby Williams with the town of Huntersville. Oh, yeah. Great having you on board. And
we're just appreciative of all our nonprofits do to serve the residents of the town and Lake Norman.
And thank you for all your support and everything you did with Ada. I think Karen was just talking about it, but thank you for what you do. We're going to go back to Brooke. Brooke had an event coming up with Habitat, and she didn't have an opportunity. We kind of caught her off guard, the Blue Jean Bash. Brooke, you want to share a little bit about that event?
Sure. Thank you, Bill. Yeah, we have, as you know, with our merger, we had 2 events that we would traditionally have done. The Blue Jean Bash for Charlotte Habitat traditionally happens in May. And then we in the north had our Builders Bash, which happened in the fall. Because of our current circumstances, we decided to merge the 2 events and do an all virtual event on October the 8th. It is the Blue Jean Bash. This is our 5th year of this type of an event. Obviously not virtual, but this fundraising event. It is very new to us, this whole virtual environment, but we're very excited for the opportunity for us to be able to open it up to more folks because we're not limited to the amount of people that can join us. It's just a great time for us to share the vision and share some family stories from some of those that we're serving. And then we will also have a silent and live auction that you will definitely want to plug into so that you can either do a little bit of your Christmas shopping a little early or find some really cool things to help support this great work that we're doing in the community. So October the 8th, I will include the link where you can register in the chat, but you can also find that on our website by going to the events tab. Thanks, Bill.
Thank you, Brooke. Matt Fitzwater with the Lake Norman YMCA was planning on being here, but he got pulled out at the very last minute. But he wanted to remind everybody that during the COVID-19, the Lake Norman YMCA was completely renovated, and it's now open, and they put a lot of new safety protocols in place to keep everyone safe. They're also offering a brand new Back to School Plus program for children who are virtual learning. And as always, financial assistance is available for those who need it. And again, that comes from Matt Fitzwater. A couple of the other organizations that I'm involved with outside of the Lake Norman Chamber of Commerce is I'm very active not only in Rotary, but Kiwanis. And one of the organizations that Kiwanis sponsored is the Aktion Club. The Aktion Club is a group for special needs adults, 18 years of age or older. So if you know of someone who is a parent of a special needs young person, please have them call me. Right now we're meeting virtually on the 4th Friday of every month. Back when we finally have COVID behind us, we'll be meeting again Fridays at 7 o'clock here at the Chamber of Commerce, 7 o'clock p.m. And again, that's a program sponsored by the Kiwanis Club of Lake Norman. Again, that's special needs adults. The other organization I'm involved in is the Hugh Torance House and Store, which is the oldest standing historical house and store in North Carolina. And again, that's open on the first and third Sundays. We've been closed during COVID, but we hope to get it open here pretty soon. And we too are having some renovations. I'm going to ask if there was anything that we missed from anybody that's spoken, or did I miss anybody that didn't get a chance to speak on behalf of your organization?
Bill, can I just add?
We have Tonya. She wanted to add something. Tonya?
Yeah, so I just wanted to say, normally, I did mention what we do as our big fundraiser, and it's usually, we do a breakfast brunch, which is free, and then we do an outdoor gospel event, which is free. And then the past few years, I moved it to the city of Charlotte, and we weren't able to do it this year. Next year, we're bringing it back to Cornelius, the plant Smithville Park, and it's an outdoor family affair, inspirational music. And we did it here for like the first 3 years and then moved to the city of Charlotte, but we're coming back to Smithville Park.
Okay, thank you. Anybody else on the call or virtual that we missed or did not get a chance to plug an upcoming event that you wanted to share? Okay, on behalf of the Chamber of Commerce, I would encourage everyone to continue to mask up, and the Visit Lake Norman has these really, really nice masks that has Lake Norman on them. They're downstairs and they're very lightweight. A lot of the masks that I've put on can get quite hot and cumbersome. These are really nice masks, and we encourage you to make sure that you continue to social distance, continue to put your mask on. We want to keep everybody safe, and we want to get back to work. This particular recording is going to be placed on our social media and emailed, and we want to thank all of our participants today. And thank you on behalf of the Lake Norman Chamber of Commerce for everything you're doing to make Lake Norman a great place to work, live, and visit. Have a great day at the lake, everybody.
Thank you.
Thank you so much.